After coaching dozens and dozens of women over the past 5 years as a career coach, I have learned that this is the number one thing that typically tends to be on the midlife woman's mind. If you've ever felt stuck in a way that you know that you want to do something different than you're currently doing, but you have no idea how to even begin to figure that out because it seems so big, right? It seems overwhelming. And a lot of times what happens is you just wind up forgetting about it, saying it's too hard. You'll just keep doing what you've been doing. You've come this far, you can suffer through, 10, 20 more years, depending on what your age is as you're watching this. But my friends, you do not have to suffer. So welcome back to my channel. My name is Megan and I am a career coach for women and also just a coach in general for midlife women in order to help them through transitions and overcoming hurdles and setting goals and getting results. What I'm going to teach you basically today is a 4-step process that I basically came up with when I was going through this myself about 5-6 years ago. And I knew I wanted to leave my job as a case manager, a nurse case manager, and I really wanted my own business and I didn't know what that looked like. So I came up with these 4 steps that are really simple. I'm just gonna quickly go through them and lay it out for you, but make sure you stick around to the end so that you can see what to do after you've gone through the 4 steps and like how to put it all together. So step 1 is to take a piece of paper, and actually I'll link the guide that I have that you can use in my show notes, so you can just print it and it's all there. Or you can just take a piece of paper, and at the top of the paper, I want you to put out across the top all the jobs that you've been in or that you've held in the past. And you can go back as far as you want to. Some people like to go into like their high school years because maybe they had a job that parts of it they really enjoyed, okay? So you can go back as far as you want to and just across the top of the page. In my brain, like a sheet of paper is 8.5 by 11. I like to turn it sideways, especially if you've had a lot of jobs. So it's 11 by 8.5, if that makes sense. And you're gonna go across the page and put all of your jobs. And I guess, like step 1.5 is to, under each job, you're going to list out the tasks and job responsibilities that you did under each job. And it should be a lot, right? This isn't just, we don't want brief things. We want every little thing from answering the phone to doing inventory on office supplies to ordering those supplies to ordering lunch for the office to, if these were regular duties, and these are some really basic things I'm naming, but that's to show you that no matter how small they were, I want you to include them if it was something you did repetitively, not just a one-off every now and then. I want you to put down the things that you did, in that job. So step 2 is you're going to go and look through all of those things that you just listed out. And I want you to circle the things that you actually enjoyed. We're gonna focus on the things that you liked and the things that you wouldn't mind doing more of or continuing to do. If you want, you can go a step further and put like a little star next to the ones that really kind of excite you, where you're like, this was the best part of this job. Put a little star, circle it and put a star, okay? Step 3, you are going to, new piece of paper, you're gonna list out your joys and your interests. And this is what I mean by joys. The things that bring you joy in life, the things that you would like to do that you think would bring you joy in life. And then interests, things you're interested in that maybe you currently do, you used to do and you stopped doing, or things that you've done that you want to do that you're interested in doing in the future. And now this doesn't have to be work, career related things. This can be just in life. We want to get clues, as many clues as we can from just what inspires us in life, which makes me think about your purpose. And this comes up a lot, and I'll probably do a separate video just basically talking about your purpose or having a calling, but I'll touch on it a little bit after I go through the last steps. Okay, so step number 4 is we want to look for the overlap, okay? You want to look at, okay, first of all, in those things you circled, what do they have in common? And then when you look at the joys and interests, are there things that you are interested in or things that bring you joy that coincide with the tasks or responsibilities or job duties that you enjoy doing? So you're looking for the overlap. Can any of those things be found in what you're interested in? Let's say you're interested in national parks and you love hiking and you love the outdoors. And some of your job responsibilities were maybe like leading a group or teaching. Maybe you were a teacher, maybe it was teaching science or teaching something specific, but you want to get out of the classroom, right? So you see this overlap of, I love nature, I love national parks or the parks in general, state parks are included. So you might think, okay, well, there's like maybe you live close to a wonderful national park or a really great state park. And you're like, maybe there's something in that for me. Maybe I can lead groups on hikes, or I can teach, when field trips come or different groups come, I can do some kind of like teaching about the environment or the ecosystem in that park, right? So that's just a little example of how this can overlap. Okay, so I told you stick around so that you can see what to do with all of this information. So now, once you start looking for the overlapping things, the overlapping themes, if there are ways to do these skills in these other places you're interested in, it's time to do research, okay? And the point of this 4-step process is not to be the be-all end-all guide to getting you to your absolute, next career or job. It is to just get the wheels turning. It's to finally get you out of, because sometimes we just box ourselves into what we have been doing. And so it's hard to see outside of that. So this is just to kind of get you thinking outside the box a little bit. I think she wants her own YouTube channel. What do you think? And research can look like, very easily. Most of us have computer access. If you don't, you can go to your local library and access through their computer. So you can research, just put in all of these things like teaching small groups or leading groups, hiking, jobs that include these things or these places or whatever. Just kind of combine all the different things that you've put down on these pages and see what it comes up with. There's a lot of controversy about the use of AI, but this is the kind of thing for me, I think, where it is really helpful in helping you come up with different ideas that are maybe a little better than just doing a basic Google search that might bring you to websites that talk about those things, but it's a lot to sort through. Your ChatGPT or whichever one you like to use is going to spit out specifics. Then you can go further into those specifics and do your own research. Other forms of research is think about when you were a kid and maybe your parents enrolled you in ballet or some kind of art class, or you joined a team, to see if you enjoyed playing volleyball or softball or whatever it is. So think about it on a grown-up scale. How can you insert yourself into these things you're interested in? And, maybe these will become hobbies and not necessarily your job, and that's good too. But what are ways you can use this? What are ways that you can do experiments in the wild without a high stakes, right? We're not quitting your current job and just jumping into something new, not knowing if you're going to really want to do it or not. It's just kind of running your own little experiments. So as an adult, you're putting yourself into spaces to do this. And it can be classes that you have to pay for. You might find free classes or groups, or you can volunteer in an area you're interested in, if it's the kind of thing that takes volunteers. Ask people to shadow. If you have a friend or a friend of a friend or a friend of a family member that does what you are thinking about doing, hey, can I come hang out with you for a couple hours at work? Some jobs lean themselves to that. Some, it's not possible, but maybe it is. Like, I don't know, if you wanted to become a realtor and you were thinking about that, because maybe you just love houses and seeing different environments that people live in, and you'd love to help people find their, homes that they love. So you have a friend that's a real estate agent, or maybe your aunt's a real estate agent. That's a kind of job that you can, go with them to open houses, go with them to see what the behind the scenes is. Like, we think of open houses, but like, watch them negotiate a contract, watch them make a listing, just what goes into it, basically. And then just wanted to touch a little bit on the whole, because when we talk about interests and joys, and a lot of what comes up during when women are feeling stuck in this situation is like, I wanted to do something that is more meaningful. I want it to have a purpose, or find my purpose. And I'll do another video on this because I think there's a lot to it, but just to say that your job does not have to fulfill this purpose. And I think our purpose changes throughout our life. Yes, there are some people who have this strong passion and desire for one purpose throughout their entire lives. But I bet if you talk to them, they also have other things that they enjoy doing in their lives that also bring some sort of purpose to them and to the world. So I think I'll do more on that. Leave a comment if you're interested in talking more about like a purpose and what it means to have a calling. These are all very, I think, emotionally charged words that we put a lot of weight and value into. And sometimes it's a lot easier than it sounds, or a lot simpler, I would say, and more nuanced than I think we tend to think. Anyway, I'll leave a link in the show notes so that if you want to print the guide out to these 4 steps that we just went over, you can do that. And don't forget to subscribe. I'm building my channel, so I'm trying to, grow it. And as I grow it, it can reach more and more people. So subscribing tells YouTube, hey, she's got something good to say. More people should hear it, basically. So please subscribe, like the video if you enjoyed it or if you took anything away from it. And I would love, love, love feedback in the comments. Did you do this? Tell me what came from it. Or if you have any questions, like maybe if you get stuck at some point, ask me. I'm gonna be in those comments and I will definitely help you through it. So, all right, that's all I have for you today. Bye.